You know, when military personnel are deployed, they are gone on a mission. When they leave, they know exactly what the mission is. They're provided with everything they need to carry out the mission. And the mission, it's always a lot of moving pieces involved. It's not just one battalion, not one brigade. There are several, unless special ops. That's different. They move in very small teams. But I know for a fact the Black church forgot our mission. I just got a call about the fifth 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth African American man I'm familiar with to make the final decision about their lives. This is 5 in a month. 5 lives gone. Just gone. And I think about how these pastors, bishops, all of these people out here always windmilling for their life after they get caught up in lust, XYZ 1, 2, 3, some self-imposed mess because they didn't focus on the mission. They didn't focus on the mission of dealing with the devils and healing the sick. They're not doing that. They forgot about the mission. Now, I've hosted several forums about the negative impacts of social media and behavioral health outcomes. I've, I'm telling you. And the thing is, when it comes to men, there is a spirit that is operating now. It is perverse. It is dangerous. There's a slogan about men stick together and men stick together. The problem is that they're suffering while sticking together. That sticking together isn't leading to them getting free. All of this negative content that we're all ingesting within a 24-hour cycle has a tremendous impact on our mental health. It's serious, and people don't realize it. And men, they suffer silently. Women, we communicate, we speak with each other, we can see if something's going on, but not with brothers. And see, the thing that makes me so angry and that deeply hurt me is that the more believers press into God and press into the Spirit, solutions come forward. Solutions and strategies come. But because we have not been consistently pressing in, they didn't even think about it. It never crossed their minds. What crossed their mind is who's sleeping with who and who did what next. You see, they forgot their mission. And see, why men defend them, why the people in the pews defend them, they're not focused on the mission either. They've made their mission to defend people who are godless and faithless. Because while they're windmilling for these people, they're not windmilling for people who are losing their lives, losing their battle to addiction, losing their battle to abuse, losing their battle to trauma, losing their battle to pain. And they're not thinking about these people. They're thinking about some funky man who has stood in their face, lied in their face, lied to their wives, lied to everybody, took their money, and went bouncing around tricking, but they're not fighting for these souls, and that's what breaks my heart the most. Where's the outreach? Where's the outreach from the men in the church showing them, hey, that kind of unity y'all getting into, this is conjuring darkness. This is leading the men leaving here. We need to change something. Something in the formula isn't right, because it would not lead to the overwhelming numbers we are seeing with Black men with depression. It is unbelievable. It's sad because there very few people take the time to help them. The very few. And still their pain, they can be surrounded, and it's like that for most people battling. They could be surrounded by a lot of people and still feel unseen and unheard. And that's clear with these 5 lives that are gone. I'm frustrated. I'm heartbroken because every time, this has been a month. We have not gone into August yet. I'm talking about since July 1. 1 month, 5 lives gone. 1 month. And the thing is, people be sitting there playing in our faces. You don't know what they doing with God. You don't know what they done gave to the church. Like that ditzy girl, the bishop's ditzy child, defending filth because they're not doing no real work. No oil in that. Nah. They're not going out there reaching souls. They want them to come in there with their little helicopter hat on. They could care less. Let me say it again so you understand. They can care less. They have been careless with ministry and everything else, and it shows with everything going on around us. That people are more worried about, the price of everything is going up. Yes, I know what that is. That means spend less money. That means stop all of those subscriptions. That means cut back burning gas. That means start changing the way you cook. Those are the conversations you should be having at church on Wednesdays or Thursdays, whatever day you want to do it. Right? But the thing is, if you have forgotten your mission, you would not think that way. Because your heart, the way God fashions our heart, it shows in what touches us. There is no way, no. I'm so tired of us losing this battle on many fronts when it's not necessary. All this time we worried, and I mean, before I forget, my mom, I'm sure your mom probably didn't do this to you, but my mom used to make me be very mindful of my mouth. Very mindful of my mouth. She made it very clear to me that whatever comes out of your mouth has the power to heal or kill or give life, take life. And because of that, if I by any chance forgot, she made sure to pop me right in my mouth. It is very clear on the internet and in these ministries, no one are popping them in their mouth. Because instead of getting word, we're getting excuses. And instead of getting delivered, we are getting defensive. Instead of getting humble, we're getting prideful and arrogant and rebellious and want to roost about. And we're losing the battle on many fronts. How is that possible? How is that possible? You know, there should have been an entire huge onslaught when Black pastors started seeing there was a negative messaging going out throughout the land, and it was dividing, it was killing, destroying. They should have immediately started assembling as men and creating something. As many of them have all these degrees in behavioral health and carrying on, it never occurred to them to listen to this content and say, oh my God, that's not healthy. That'll definitely lead somebody down the dark road of depression. That's bad. We got to do something to counter that. We have to come to that. We got to come together. I mean, we got to do something quick to help them, because that will lead to, it kills, it steals, and it destroys. It kills their faith. It destroys everything they love and care about. It steals their life, their very life. It steals it. It is serious when the angel of death is just sweeping through without anyone checking it at all or even acknowledging it. The other night, a thought occurred to me that we're more educated in this era than ever before. And what they used to shut up the spiritual was the intellectual. They did everything they could or had to call it religiosity, emotionalism. But one thing is for certain, whatever it was, it didn't allow this kind of thing to go down. It did not. So there was more power in what they call foolishness, emotionalism, and ignorance. They had more power than they do at this time. Yeah. hmm The difference between now and then is the following. If they found out that a pastor had something going on, he had enough sense to leave town. He knew what time it was, not these jokers. That should tell you something. There was order. There was something there. It was consequences. And people were actually being delivered and set free and healed. And they want to think their way out of everything. And it isn't working. We have information. We have access to more information than we can even handle. But it's not enough. We're still losing this battle. So what do we do? I'm only one person, and I have to admit that there are so many times I just feel like I'm only one person. What I'm doing is it's too big. It's too intricate, and I'm just one person. I'm just one person yelling, screaming, and crying because I genuinely care. And it hurts when you see people lose their lives. And we have not done our part. And we're supposed to, you know? And we have all of this stuff. And we're not doing it, you know? And I get upset because I'm just one person. You know, is it enough? I'm just one person. You know, and I need five in a month, five. You know, and that's the hardest part. You know, it's it just is very frustrating. Um, it's very frustrating because they're not doing. Nobody's. Very few people are doing the work or feeling inspired or any kind of conviction um, or care. Nothing. It just sometimes feel like nothing touches their heart anymore. you know, because they have become hardened trying to defend the hardened. Okay? That's the fruit of when you defend wrong, it changes you. You you're sowing your defense, your attention, and your support to something that's dead. Someone's they're dead. They are walking dead. So you shift all of that and you sow your heart, your thought into somebody already made their attention, their decision that God is not real to them, and they just keep walking around, right? But their thoughts not with children hurting, mothers hurting, stressed out, stretched out from everything they have to take care of by themselves, even when they're married. It's still hard. It's still hard. And we don't have a sense of community to for people to even feel like they can come and talk to us. The Catholic Church, they have these confessionals, right? And we don't even have anything that where people can just call, or just come and talk, to just talk it out. And sometimes people just need someone who will listen and truly care, you know. Not tell them what to do, but sometimes, my God, I just realized that. Mm, 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 mm. That hurt. Um, I'm on the road right now. I'm traveling. And so it's a lot going on, you know. And I talked with a friend, and we talked this morning, and she was just saying how many times I would just out of the blue call her, you know, and just check on her real quick while I had time. And she told me today that there were times the pills would just be right in her hand, and I would call to check, and I didn't know. I didn't know. And so we talked today because her birthday is Saturday. Um, it's people be dealing with stuff, and we've just forgotten our mission. We've forgotten. Um, it's so crushing. It's so heavy. It just feel like it crushes because you're just one person. It's hard seeing people just not care. They just don't care. Um, one of the guys, he was like, with this guy that just passed away. He was like, well, why did he do it? Like, who poses questions like that? It just, I'm certain of it. I am glad I'm traveling right now because I am certain that I would have slapped him. I mean, I would have slapped him in his face because that is such an ignorant question to ask. Instead, it's a question of what was it that he needed that we didn't recognize? That the community, his family, his job, what was needed, and how can we, do a better job of identifying, or, uh, for us to start creating true environments of love and unity and safety for people. But his wife, because we were all on this call together, and then she says, it was probably the light bill. You know how bad lights done gone up, man. It's just righteous indignation, it just does something to you, and it's crushing. What is my hope for this video? It's just to ask you to remember your mission. It's just to ask you to please remember your mission. Please remember your mission. Because so many of us forgot, and the algorithm just keep drifting us further and further down the river, and it doesn't lead us closer, we just get caught up in the current of it all. And I'm certain, there are people around you who are also hurting. And of course, you don't know because they suffer in silence. But one thing I know for certain, if they know that a person genuinely loves and they genuinely care, they will talk to you, with my friend. I mean, to have that conversation with her this morning was it, I didn't think of it immediately because I was just so busy just praising God for healing her in those places and saving her life and keeping her, and being obedient, and you don't know why means a great deal to God, because if I'm told to pick up the phone and call somebody, I pick up the phone and call them. But I didn't know until today that this was going on with her, and I'm pretty sure it's people near you around you, that you wouldn't think are, but just start as a person cultivating your life and your heart in a manner that people see Christ through you. That they see your love for Christ and your commitment to Him to the point that it draws them to Christ. It's not even about you. It's just, it draws them, and they're hurting. So I am almost, I can't really talk really good right now because it's just the thought of all of it. I mean, in 1 month, and it's His promises, to give us life and life more abundantly. That is His promise. And it's painful when people didn't see Him, they didn't hear Him. And that's why who we are as Christians, it is so important. We cannot save the world, but we can lead them to the one who does, and He did. And we're not going to be perfect, but we have to remember our purpose. We have to. And if it's too hard for you to do it right now, just pray and ask God to break up that fallow ground in your heart, to give you a heart of flesh and not a heart of stone. Boy, I am sorry for talking y'all ear off, but I can't, you know, try to even, you know, lay down or anything right now because it just breaks my heart. That, you know, people are not paying attention, y'all. They're not. They're talking about what so and so said online. They come together. They want to just get a clock tea and whatever. None of them coming together. Let's make an app. Let's make this group for people to be able to reach out if they need help. Let's start riding around and pray for people. Let's start. It's never ever ever on their mind. It's never. I tell you, and I mean, it's by the thousands. It's by the thousands. And they're not doing this work. They glued to a screen. They're glued to, you know, whatever. And they can't see it. You know, it's so bad that somebody will say, oh, it must be the light bill. And, you know, everything going up. That's how messed up this world has become. They're just talking about, I can't, you know, get a new purse because, you know, my power bill went up. I can't go get me a new purse. You know, I can't get those pumps this week because my light bill went up. And we're talking about a human life. That's how that's just, Lord, just please, you know, y'all remember the mission, please, just, you know, you that the word says, he said, I gave you power. I gave you power. We have power to do things, not just get money. We have power and authority and dominion in the earth realm. And it is imperative that we operate in it because there are souls out there. Quit defending sinners who have made their decision. You see, that's totally different from the ones who suffer. And they just need to hear him one time. They just got to encounter him one time, and just that one time, right? And they're too busy wanting to defend people running around half naked, smoking weed, doing drugs, selling their bodies. They want to defend them, but they won't go out there and be the salt in this earth. They won't do that. You see that? Salt purifies and all kinds of things, you know? I'm going to go. I'm going to go. So, but honey, I really hope you have a good night. And I know I'm a mess right now, but I really pray with my heart that you got something from this, okay? You take care. You take care. You take care. And have a wonderful weekend, honey. Take care.